our chariot awaits.
Smells and
I don't know. You're crazy. 5 feet your butt. That just looks fun.
Literature and information for the council for future use.
Are you 55 veterans hunter?
Yeah, barely.
He does.
I think I'm just a little under 55 inches.
He's just 55.
Okay, guys, we're at Adventure Wild, Lanesboro, Massachusetts. This is a sustainable forest adventure park.
It'll be fun.
It's gonna be awesome. See ya.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Anyway, we're gonna be taking this buggy ride up the mountain to the maple sugar process. Then we're going up to the wind turbines. And then after that tour, we're going to be going on some climbing, cope course, and zip lines. It's going to be cool. Check this out.
Guys, that's also going to be taking the Ranger if you want to ride with him. It's a little smoother of a ride. Infinitely smoother of a ride.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Please tell me that wasn't your head slamming on something. I'm scared.
You're always scared.
Andre,
Is there going to be a T-Rex coming out of the woods on us?
got it?
As long as it flips the Jeep, we're okay.
I'll hold it.
it's not latching.
It ain't latching.
It isn't.
It is not latching.
It is not. Ain't a word.
Ain't no word I've ever heard of.
No, ain't is in the dictionary.
Jeep. You want a second?
The only difference is that the RambleWild
Open again.
Uh-oh.
Back power.
That's my
I'm gonna throw up.
It gets even bumpier.
We're still on the road. This is a hat I got for the Olympic ski team.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Like that about. Here, get off the street, Logan. Logan, you help. You have grippy gloves.
That's where the surf comes from.
Is there a good
The maple syrup lines.
A little backfire there.
Good off-street carburetor.
On the right side. Oh
Side
man.
of your mom's like covered in mud when she gets out.
Move all the fat guys on one side.
That's gonna suck. There you go.
The Nathan and Hunter.
What?
Like Nathan and Hunter, two bad guys right here.
What did I do? You have reached your final. Oh wow.
Holy crap. If I don't throw up on this one.
You have reached your final destination.
Baby.
We have a number of different businesses that we have going on this property. In lieu of cutting down these trees, we try to look at the falls upon the water out of the ground, right? The root structure beneath us absorbs that water, brings that water, which is rich with sugar, okay, and that's the nutrient that they need to produce leaves, draws it up through the tree, it goes all the way up, right, just underneath of this layer right here. This is the cambium layer of the tree. Underneath it, there's something called the core cambium layer, and it's this thin membrane that allows xylem and phloem to go up and down the tree. Okay, xylem and phloem are the energy base for that trees need to produce canopies, right? So as it starts to come up, right, in the old days they used to take a metal tap, they would drill a hole, put a little metal tap into it, and then hang a bucket off of it. And the natural flow of sap would just kind of flow out, and it would take maybe a day or two to fill up a bucket. And then they had to take the buckets and they had to bring them all the way down the hill, and they had to put them into a big pan, and then we'll talk about the evaporation process in a few minutes. But nowadays we use a tap and tube system like this because it's infinitely more effective, all right? So what happens is, as I said, the tap will go, actually let's walk down here, I'll show you the tap.
The reasons why you tap into it is because the fibers go up and down. They don't go across. So you want to drill into to cut through them straws, so the sap is going to flow down into it. And actually that's the opposite. In the morning, it starts to flow up to feed the buds and everything. So, and when you tap a tree, you're going to want to go directly straight in, okay? And that way you're going to cut the splice perfectly in there. You want to go anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and that's what's going to maximize the amount. When tapping a tree, you always want to get, one of the terms that you use is you want to get white wood, and white wood would be new fresh bark, new fresh wood. The brown would be next to another hole. 4 and 6 is the formula that we use when we tap trees. This old hole here, no matter what, so I don't tap it all around, and it's not all pockmarked up. You want to either go 4 inches down, 6 out. You could go 6 up, 4 out, any which way in that. But that's your safe area to get whitewood for that. Does anyone have any questions on that?
You guys, the health and the well-being of the trees is super important for us here. And what, dude?
Matt, can I
Take a picture here?
Yeah, I'd love to.
have a question on this particular tree here? The
Sure.
that smaller leader coming or whatever that is coming off of there.
Yep.
Does that hurt the production of the tree?
It does not. Actually, some maple producers would say cut this off and use only one of them. There's different theories on whether you should. We use them both. Ultimately, the idea is if you have only one main line, you're going to produce the most sap. If we tap into them both instead of cutting it off, and it's just part of our forest management plan. Another thing with your sugar content, the thing that you want to look for is your crown, the crown of the tree. The bigger the crown, you want a tree that's going to go up, and it's one of the few trees. The maple trees are one of the few trees where they're asymmetrical, where the branches, where there's one branch, it goes off on the other side also. With a fluke like this where it branches off, it does a little bit different things, and that's due to the way it gets light. But your sugar content is going to have a giant amount to do with the crown. Normally, a good sugar content in your sap is about 2%, 2 to 3%. We're getting 2% here up at in Feronia Forest. We had one of the country's leaders, Mike Farrell from Cornell University, and believe it or not, he was telling us a couple of weeks ago that he's actually tested some trees that get up to 10%. Now, if you get 1 gallon of syrup for 40 gallons of sap at 2%, you can imagine 10% what that would do. I mean, it's just all that much more. It's that much less to boil down. The reverse osmosis, you don't have to take as much water out of it. Because anyway, ready? You gotta push right here.
You got a gold hole.
Here, yeah, oh yeah, we do. Tapping hammer, right? And when you're hitting it in, you don't really want to hammer it home. If you hammer it home, it's gonna block the end of it, and it's gonna stop your production of sap for that. So you want to listen for it to knock. You'll hear a slight knock when you put it in, and that's when you know not to hit it anymore. So you just want to. And right there, right? You see how now that makes a different sound? That's perfect. If you hit it any harder, you're driving it into the wood. Essentially, you're blocking. How'd you guys like to ride up in that thing?
Awesome.
Why don't you ride?
You guys ride to the ladder.
So you want to ride there?
That part.
You go flat, right, Hunter? You come around the corner, we can just go flat. Stay back here. Because he's trying to turn around.
Oh yeah, look. Back of the good tree. That's a
The door is open.
They use that.
Oh, by the wire, now, I'll just like run and jump.
I'm gonna lose a kidney. Great sakes, man.
Yeah, whoa.
Connected, man.
What's up?
This one is. That one is. I don't think so. None of mine are.
That's a ways up there.
Biggest, most efficient wind the reason that they picked the site for this ridge line right here is A, because it's clearly very windy, right? Today it's not windy enough to turn these guys because it takes about 8 miles, consistent miles per hour of wind to even be considered for a site of this. Third highest peak in Massachusetts, not that far off from the elevation of top of Mount Greylock right now. So, a couple of things that we should know about sustainable energy, okay? And everything that we're talking about today is energy. Energy for the trees, energy for the people, right? So, where does energy come from, guys? Traditionally, where do we get energy from? How do you heat your house? Yeah, electricity, gas, right? You burn wood, things like that. Sometimes you burn fish, right? That ultimately we know that that will never go away. So when you hear the term renewable energy, that's what they're talking about, okay? Now, these turbines themselves, there's 6 of them on our property alone here, okay? And These turbines are 320 feet tall, 220 of which are the blades themselves. Okay. Inside of that tower, there's a spiral staircase that goes all the way up to the turret. The turret is the very, very top where there is a generator. So the wind, hear the turret turning? That's the turret turning towards where the wind is. And they do that via sensors on the back of each one of these generators. So you guys see this turbine over here? At the very back, it looks like an antenna sticking off the back. That's a sensor that detects where the wind is coming from, and it turns that whole thing so it can be the most efficient.
I'm gonna vomit.
Please don't.
I feel like it's falling forward. I guess you can have I don't feel safe. This might be not just
Uh-oh. Whoops. Summer. Yeah, summer. Heading up to the climbing course. Should have had an escalator put in here, for sakes.
And as you look down, you're looking at 2 leg loops, a waist belt, and the gray straps are your shoulder straps. We want you to gently step into the 2 leg loops, grab the gray shoulder straps, and pull them.